Okay, so today I want to discuss how income elasticity of demand differs by different goods, because before I defined it and I kind of introduced it just for a normal good. So for a normal good, typically the higher the income, which we call Y because we're weird, the higher the income, then the higher the quantity that you want to demand of a good. So if income elasticity of demand is how is quantity changing as a percentage as income changes, then generally we'd expect that positive. That's the case for a normal good because, hey, you've got more money to spend, you're going to get more of the good. Pretty cool. However, there are some types of goods where this does not apply, and the most apparent one is the inferior good. So the inferior good is the thing that you don't really like, but it's cheap. And so if I like porridge, maybe porridge might be an inferior good, perhaps, because a lot of people like porridge. I quite like it myself, but for a lot of people, it's you don't really like it, but it is kind of dirt cheap. You can buy a 2 kilogram bag of porridge at the shops, or a bag of oats at the shops for nothing. And that's pretty cool. But then if you've got more money to spend, then you're going to eat pasta instead of oats as your carbs. Or maybe you'll even eat less carbs and you'll get some more meat or whatever. So typically that's an inferior good. So as your income increases, you might start to buy a bit more in the short run, right? Because maybe you're really not buying much. If you're really poor, then you're not going to be buying much of anything. So your demand might start to increase a bit, but then past a point, you're going to start substituting it for the things that you actually want, the better things. So in this case, the pasta and the meat. And so, first of all, as your income increases, maybe your demand increases as you stop becoming completely poor. And then you're going to hit a point where you're actually going to start substituting. So then as your income increases up in the Y direction, the quantity is going to actually start decreasing. So this weird curve, right? But that is income elasticity of demand for an inferior good. And that's that. Now, we've also got to think about how the elasticity changes for different types of goods. So, in the case of normal goods, it goes up, right? As you get richer, you want more of the thing. So, for the normal good, you're going to have a kind of positive curve as your income's increasing, the quantity you want also increases because, hey, you've got more to spend. But let's think about a luxury good. So a luxury good is going to be very sensitive to income because you really want it, but you only want it if you can afford it. It's something that you only get as you get more money. So maybe, and it's very income sensitive as well. It's depending really on how much do you have. So an example for this would be holidays. That could be a luxury good. It could also be the best car. It could be the best watch. It could be the best jewelry. It could also be the things that you think of when you think of luxuries. But it can also just be things like a holiday. That how many holidays you go on is going to be quite income sensitive. It could be how many times you go to the theatre. That's also likely to be quite income sensitive, or the movies or whatever. So typically the quantity is going to be very sensitive to income. So small changes in income could end up creating pretty big changes. A small upwards change in income could end up creating a pretty big change in quantity. So that's what you've got to remember about income elasticity of demand. The inferior good is going to end up decreasing, so it's going to end up going negative. Because look here, as the income's increasing, the quantity is actually going down. So it's going to end up being negative, and the luxury goods, you're going to expect them to be more elastic. And what's that going to be measured in? It's going to be bigger, because you're going to have a higher change in quantity for any given change in demand. And so we would typically define a luxury good as having a YED over what? Because bigger, it's more elastic, it's more sensitive to income. That's what you've got to remember. So, have a great day.